Hey guys, welcome back to the Think About It podcast. I'm Nisi. I am so excited to have a safe space to speak our truth or to find it. So come on in for however long I have you here or however long I have your ear. Now let's think about it.
Every time that I think of you, baby girl, I'm all love on you. I'ma kiss your forehead, that's true. I be saying prayers for you. Anything when I buy for two. Baby girl, I lie to you never.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Think About It podcast with your girl, who? Nisi. We're back. We're here. Another episode. Another week, a few weeks since we've been here. Y'all, let's just hop right on into it, okay? I know the last time you guys have seen me, first and foremost, if you are new here, welcome in. Come on in, honey. This is a place, honey, where we do what? Think about it, okay? To think about it. Go ahead, make sure if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and please subscribe to the channel. I don't know what accent it was, the channel. I don't know what accent that was, honey. It was an accent, okay? But make sure you subscribe. If you're listening on audio, if you're if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the airplane would want an airplane right now, of course. But if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever you are podcasting, make sure you hit the follow button. Leave a review, rate the episode. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. So like I said, the last time I was here, it was a few weeks ago, definitely right before the election. Okay? And I think that's all I need to say. Okay, that's all I need to say. I don't really want to get into too much into it. We have a lot to talk about today, so I'm gonna leave that right there. But what I would say is, I've realized that I'm the type of person because I feel my emotions like on a higher. So if somebody is happy, I feel like with me, I'm like really happy. When I'm sad, I'm really sad. When I'm mad, I'm really mad. I feel like my emotions 10 times over, right? And I think with this situation or anything that kind of like, when stuff hit the fans and I'm in my emotions, I feel it longer than what I need to. And I know that is something I need to work on. I need to ask God to help me with, most importantly as well too. So this one here, honey, I was in my leave me alone bag. Okay, I was in my leave me alone bag. Close the door. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. Okay, and it took me a minute. So we're back. We're back. We're going to give it all to God. And that's all I'm going to say about this one here. Okay, but we are resilient. Hello. And we're going to have to still get up and keep it going with the grace and by the grace of God. Hello, somebody. That's it. That's all. So let's go ahead, honey, and get into the ketchup, mayo, and mustard. Okay, we already did that. Already told you where I've been. Don't ask no more questions. Don't ask no more questions. Okay, so y'all, real quick, ketchup, mayo, and mustard. What have I been doing? Like I said, that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to, like I said, get back into my routine. The gym. When I tell y'all, your girl missed gym days. Okay, like days, probably a week. Okay, and I was okay with it. I've learned now. Like I said, I think it's just one of those things where I have to give myself a time, and once I give myself that time, get back up and, get back up on the horse. But I definitely, honey, I sat in my bag for a little bit. So like I said, I'm getting back into my routine of things. This week here was a good reset. I feel good. She looked good, She looked good. They say sometimes when you look good, you feel good. Girl, sometimes. But right now, I look good. I feel good. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. God is the head of not just my house, but the head of the world. Hello. So that's it. So y'all, let's get into this question real quick. We're gonna call this what do we call this here? Because I'm gonna be mixing the segments up. Okay. So this week we're not gonna do the beat of the week like how we usually do on the ending part of the segments. So we're gonna call this the QFTT. I love a good abbreviation. WAYDTA, WAYTA, She live for a good abbreviation, okay? So the QFTT, question for the thinkers. So I seen this video on YouTube, right? And the lady, she asked this question, how would you feel? And y'all, I want y'all to comment. Leave some comments down below. Tell me. Be honest. Don't be honest. Okay? Don't lie. Don't lie, Sister Shirley. Don't lie. Okay? Tell her keep it P. Keep it cute, but keep it P. Okay? So I seen this lady, she was talking about yeah, now I gotta thread a little light with this, okay? But I'm gonna keep it P. Okay, so the question basically is, if you were talking to someone, if you're getting to know someone, on through text message, over the phone, and then when you meet up on the first date with this person, male or female, they are disabled in a way, or like they have some type of and if I'm using the wrong words, please forgive me, like disformity or handicap in a way, like let's what the question was, is they don't have a hand. Let's just keep it that way. But if you've been in a situation like that before, or you just want to elaborate on any other body parts, I guess y'all can let me know. But the question was, if this person did not have a hand, and when you meet up and you kind of go on a first date, all of a sudden now you realize this person only got one hand. Insensitive, sorry, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but this was the question, right? And the reason why I'm asking this question, because I've been in this situation. Now, when I tell y'all the story, listen, girl, I'll tell y'all the story. So it wasn't that I was dating, getting to know this person. I was in a relationship with this person. Bear with me, okay? So I was a teenager, late teens, somewhere in between my late teens. And I was talking to this guy, right? This is like my first head over heel. I love him. Butterflies, roses, lovebirds everywhere. He's like, I was head over heels for him, right? And we were in a relationship. So I've met him numerous of times, of course. We used to hang out, right? We used to hang out once I got any chance I got. Of course, I wasn't a well-behaved kid growing up, So, I would sneak out, not really sneak out the house, because once I'm out the house, I'm out the house. The thing is once I'm out the house, ain't no telling where I'm about to go. So I used to go by my man house, well, my man friend's house. Whatever. Anyway, so we would hang out. He would go to his friend's house, and when we're out, if we're out or whatever, and we're by his friend's house, at times we would just get up and just kind of walk, it's too much people, or we just want to have time by ourselves. So he has a vehicle, but we just would like to just go walking in the area, and that was a thing, right? And he would always hold my hands, right? So of course, if the traffic is coming down this way, I'm gonna be in the inner side of the traffic. Basically, he's gonna be on the outside, right? And he would always, hold my hand. In my head, I'm like, he is such a gentleman. He always be like, come over here, and he hold my hand, So I'm like, my man. So this went on for a while. Anytime we go places, we always held hands. So, I'm especially when you a teenager and you just having those little intimate moments, you just touching hands, or, little kisses on the forehead, you butterflies, So I'm in la la land, okay? And one day this is months. We probably was together maybe 6-7 months. So we was together for a while. And one day we was at I don't remember where we were at. I think we were at a bar. Of course, I wasn't able to go in a bar in the Bahamas. It's 18 and over in order to drink. So let's just say he was of age. And he went to the bar. Oh my God. He got me my little drink, I used to drink like Heinekens. Like on the islands, we drink a lot of like beers, and we was just in the car just talking, vibing out, talking, whatever. And he asked me, he was like, I have something to tell you. So now in my head, like in the way he said it, it was like, it was a face of concern, So I'm like, okay, this nigga done cheated. Like he done did like what? Like what do you have to tell me? So I'm thinking like he cheated on me, or he don't want to be in a relationship anymore. So I'm thinking like all the stuff, but I'm like, ain't no way he don't want to be in a relationship, because it's like we too happy, like we're both feeling this thing, right? So I'm like, what do you have to tell me? So he was like, I just want you to just hear me out. He's like, I don't know how to say it. So I'm like, just spit it out. So he kept saying, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. So I'm like, just spit it out. Just say what you have to say, So I'm looking at him because I'm waiting for him to say whatever you have to say. Didn't realize like he kind of like already not said what he had to say, but did what he had to do. So I'm like, you not gonna say nothing? So he was like, you don't notice nothing? So I'm like, notice what? So I'm still staring at him like I'm waiting for him to say the words, he was cheating. Like I'm looking at his face. So I'm like, notice what? He was like, for real? He's like, you ain't noticed nothing? He was like, keep looking. So I'm like, keep looking at what? Like, he's like, you don't notice nothing? So when he said it, my head just went down on his hand. And it was like a jump scare moment. I'm not gonna lie, because I was not expecting it, I wasn't expecting it. So I like jumped kind of like, what? Like kind of like, I think that was my mouth. Like just like what is going on? Like that's what it was. Like I just paused for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, just straight pause. So he had like his forearm. He had his hand, like his forearm. His hand, his fingers. The problem was his fingers. They were like short. Like they were all short fingers. Like they didn't grow out. Basically. I don't really remember the story. I think that he was a premature baby and his hands didn't, like his fingers didn't cry. I don't want to lie. I think it was like something along those terms. But in the moment I was like, what? Like, wait a minute. Now in my head, well, I think once I left and I went home or whatever, I processed like, how in the hell you never noticed this? Like, this is crazy. But in the moment, I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, you lied to me. Like, it was like, you lied to me. And I think for me, again, my answer is, I don't think the disformity or disability, whatever it is, would have been the issue. It wasn't an issue. The issue for me was you lied. You know what I mean? So I think overall it was, because we were still together after the fact. It took me a little moment to like process it. It was just like, I would literally just, I found times and moments where I didn't want him to see that I'm looking now, but now it's like new to me. So if he's driving or whatever, and he was like, after that, he was like comfortable to show me. So what happened was, let me get into it. So this is y'all. So what happened was, when I told you, like, he would always hold my hands. He always wore like a jacket, or he always would have his hand in his pocket. So, and I never noticed that he always had his hand in his pocket. I never noticed it. I promise I've never even thought about it. So that's why he would always hold my hand, I guess in a sense, kind of like I don't know, like he always held my hand, but from the left side. And then after he told me, he would always have it out now. So when he would drive, he would always have his hand in his pocket, or like he would have his hand like, I guess, like tucked under. I never noticed it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I never ever noticed it. So anyway, that was that. But like I said, I think for me the issue was more than anything you telling a lie to me. And also it's one of those things where give me that option, right? I think it's in a sense kind of like somebody, if you meet someone, right, or you're on the phone, you're getting to know somebody, and they send you a picture of someone that is not them, right? They catfish you. And then when you get to, you get around them, you meet them, you're like, bro, this is not you. Like, what is you talking about? Like, this person is like 6 foot that you showed me. You 5'1". Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this person have brown eyes. Nigga, you got black eyes. Like, why would you even like lie to me like that? That's crazy to me. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, This person have a low fade, you know what I'm saying, with them waves. Nigga, you have like dreads and they ain't even put together. Like, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? Give like, you know what I'm saying? This is not you. When I say, of course people can change like certain things, you know, different hairstyles, whatever it may be. But I'm talking about a completely different person. You get what I'm saying? Like, they was expecting one thing. This is a whole different thing. So I think for me, it's like, you know, more than anything, the lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't lie. Keep it P. Keep it P. Okay? Don't. That was the big issue, I feel like, for me. But give me your opinions. Give me your option. How would you feel, again, if you meet someone for the first time, y'all was dating, y'all was having conversations, you know what I mean, texting, I mean, putting in the time over phone, then it's time for y'all to meet up, and now this person have one hand, or again, whatever disformity. And if you have been in a situation like that, leave some comments, honey. We're gonna read it on the next episode, okay? Yeah. So let's go ahead, y'all, and get into the conversation of the week. Okay. So real quick, I got an announcement. Very, very happy about it. Your girl got baptized. The Sunday just went by. I got baptized, basically. So clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Very, very happy about it. Very, very, very happy about it. Okay, y'all, when I tell y'all that experience was something I've never felt before. You know what I mean? Like, when I tell y'all, it was such an amazing feeling. So yes, like I said, your girl got baptized last Sunday. I am an official Christian woman. Okay, it feels good saying that. Like, I would always, you know, when I speak to people, when I even have conversations with men or people I'm dating, I let them know, like, I'm a Christian woman. I'm now officially a Christian woman. Okay, and I feel good about it. Yes, so very proud of myself. So really quick, y'all, I made mention of it. Well, I was gonna make mention of it anyway. I was gonna talk about it earlier in the Catch a Mayo Mustard, but me mentioning it kind of goes in line and correlates with the conversation today. So, topic today. The topic today honestly was going to be judgmental Christians, but we're going to remove that from judgmental Christians to judgmental people. Okay, we're gonna get into it. So, I want to say a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, a girl that I follow on Instagram, she's a fitness trainer, and she got baptized 2 weeks ago, right? I've been following her now maybe for like a year, probably a year and a half now. And I've seen videos that she posted in the past where, you know, she, you know, would do, like, she would sage, and she would have like crystals and, you know, stuff like that. And like I said, now fast forward to a few weeks ago, she was baptized. A very big step. So she came out and made a video on Instagram, kind of like telling people. She made a post on Instagram basically talking about videos, comments that she received in her, like, older videos, or even that she received under her baptism video, right? And there were Christians, like she said in the comment, in her video, that it was a lot of Christian people that was, like, you know, letting her know that, you know, her burning sage and, you know, doing the crystal thing or whatever, all the other stuff that she was doing, that it's against God, and you can't do that, and that it was wrong, basically, for her to do that. And then she also, because again, she's a fitness girl, so, you know, she wears fitness clothes. And some of the fitness clothes are, you know, the leggings. Now I wear those, the leggings with, like, the line, the little scrunch thing in the back. You know, I don't know, I can't find a name for it right now, but I wear the shorter one. She wears the longer ones as well. And there's people talking about how she dressed and stuff like that. And before she even gave her side of the story, I was already processing and thinking what she was basically saying, right? So what she said, you know, or what her response was all of those stuff that she went through as far as burning sage and the crystals and all that stuff, that got her to that point, right? There was things that she did that was wrong, or that in the moment that she thought was right, right? And then she realized that it wasn't right. She realized whatever it was, she got, she got convicted from these things. And thankfully God brought her closer to the truth, right? The way to do, and the way to get your blessings, the way to protect your home, the right way to ask for provision, the right way to be loved, whatever it may be. She didn't say it in those terms. I'm just using kind of like breaking down in my illustration or what I got from it. Basically, that got her to that step. Do you understand? And she kind of made mention about, it's funny how, it's a lot of Christian people that's on there and judging her. Also in the Bible speaks about judging. So what she was doing was a sin, again, having a different, what's the word? In a sense, I don't, excuse me if I'm not saying this right way, but believing in a different gods or believing in different beliefs outside of God, can be deemed as a sin as well. And what you're doing, judging, is a sin. There is no sin greater than the next, right? So she made mention of it, and when she made mention of it, before she said it, I came to that conclusion as well, right? And I find that, and the reason why, like I said, I want to have this conversation is because, like I said, as me just being baptized last Sunday, I went to work and I did have conversations to a few people. It was nothing that I was hiding. If the conversation came up or whatever, I'm like, honey, you're going to get baptized. I don't have time for this. Like, leave me out of it. You know what I mean? And when I got into work, I'm a very outgoing, charismatic. I'm very like over the top at times. So when I'm saying certain things or whatever, even when I'm messing around, like I yell like, don't, like, stuff like that or whatever. And even something like that, one of my coworkers was like, didn't you just get baptized? And I knew it was going to happen. But I feel like a lot of times people feel like the minute you get baptized or the minute you talk about your walk with God, or you getting back into having a relationship, an intentional relationship, a relationship with God, or going back into church and showing up every Sunday, people think that you're supposed to become this person right away, right? And I have a few illustrations. One of the illustrations is, think about a person who first wants a body goal and they first show up to the gym, right? Think about a person who wants to grow a fruit, right? That wants to grow oranges or wants to grow mangoes or lemon or lime, whatever it may be, right? Or a person who is in school and they're working towards college and having good grades. The first day you show up to the gym, the first day you plant that seed, the first day of class, right? You don't automatically get an A. You don't automatically get the body you want. You don't automatically, the fruit doesn't automatically grow the minute you plant it inside the ground. Blink one time, boom, there it goes. No, right? It's a process that you have to go through. It takes discipline. It takes intentionalism. It takes repetition. It takes devotion, right? It takes you watering that garden, right? For your seed to grow, for you to get that goal and body that you want, for you to get that grade that you want. And I think when it comes down to your walk with God, it's literally the exact same, right? You don't become this person after, again, being born in sin, of living in sin. You get what I'm saying? Of dealing and still overcoming trauma and still trying to, again, understand your walk with God and what He wants for you and how you're supposed to show up. It takes time, right? And I said that to say, a lot of times what happens is you have people or Christians, and in this instance or this sense here, I'm speaking about Christians who has, been in the faith a long time, and people who has figured this thing out, right? Who's figured this thing out, and they went through the times, they went through the ups, and they went through the down, and all of a sudden they kind of forget where they was or what they walk looked like. You get what I'm saying? And then now you feel like you have this right to point your finger. I do feel like, elders or Christian who has been in the, who has been not just in the church but walking with God a long time, they should be able to correct you, right? They should be able to tell you, well, the Bible just says this about it, it says that about it, but you should not judge. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times when people and Christians who has been in this walk a long time, not all of them, but a lot of them tend to judge and point their fingers, right? Instead of you helping me on my walk. You get what I'm saying? Instead of helping others on their walk. And I think that's also another reason why you have people on this end, right? And judgmental people as well, on just people in general on this end, where they use that, right? They use that narrative because they feel uncomfortable, they feel unwelcome, they feel like everything they do is wrong and they're being shunned, and they turn away from God. Do you understand me? They feel like, okay, yeah, because this person act like this, this person act like that, and then now they don't want to, learn God because they feel like everybody has that same mentality as a person, as a judgmental Christian. Does that make sense? So I think a lot of times what happens when it comes down to not Christians, but people who see, right? And who see other people, like I said, who has just got baptized like me, who just, started their journey and their walk with God, or, again, just trying to learn what fruit looks like in the garden of God, and how it's supposed to be grown and how what's supposed to come of it. And what they do is, the minute they see something that is not aligned with Christians supposed to look like, but they're like, yeah, see, yeah, but she say she this, or she say she that, but look, she over here, she cussing, or look, she over here, she's still wearing this, right, or she's still doing that. You get what I'm saying? And it makes it easier as well too for people to use that person as the reason why they're not going to learn God or to have a relationship with God. You get what I'm saying? I hear a lot of times too, people say, yeah, well, you see, that's the reason why I don't do churches, because people act like this or people act like that, right? And I was one of those person that would say too, God in me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go to no church. I ain't got to, because God in me, He know my heart. Of course, God is in you. God is in each and every one of us. You understand? He said He made us in His image and in His liking. So which means that He's always a part of us. But that has nothing to do and I've learned, again, not judging, but I've learned from me and myself that God is in me, right? And He knows me, but do I know Him, right? Do I know what He expects of me? Do I know how I'm supposed to serve others? Do I know how I'm supposed to love others? Do I know how I'm supposed to carry myself? I don't know that. Why? Because I know what He is to me, but I don't know what I'm to Him. So again, even when it comes down to church, I had this conversation, or was talking yesterday with one of the gym members, and he was like, he's like, my church in here, right? And again, that's how a person feels. But I've learned that what church is where you go to not just the fellowship, which fellowship is good to be amongst other Christians, but church is where you go to get the message, right? I know a lot of times in the world that we live in, especially modern churches today, where we focus more on the messenger than the message. And you have people, again, that use those pulpit, in all religion. Everyone has their flaws, and some of them use the religion to get their personal gains, right? To be this star, to be this person where, members of the church is like, yeah, my pastor this and my pastor that, but then the illustration that I made and I spoke to the member about yesterday was, I've learned, and again, especially for me, right? If you don't know, if this is your first time here, if you didn't really listen to the episode, I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness background in home. All of my family members, in my immediate family, my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts, my mom, of course, my uncles, my cousins, we grew up for the most part in a Jehovah's Witness household. So, and I'm trying my best to be very careful with this. So, when I made the decision, right, because of my whatever feeling that I felt about the religion itself. And I made the decision that no matter what, I believe in God, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that there is a God, but this situation does not feel the best to actually have a relationship with God. And when I read the Bible and how he loves, and he tells us to forgive 70 times 10, and to love your neighbors, meaning to love everybody, and it's just certain things, and I just felt like it did not align again with who I know God was to be. And it took time. It definitely took time, but I knew, and again, the more I felt like I just kept having this, I felt like God called me. Real sidebar, I feel like God called me. Sometimes people walk in like, I got to change my life. I just felt like God was like, I'm ready. Like, I need you to start doing this, start doing that. I need you to, and it was like, that's how it was for me. But the more intentional, like I said, that I got with my walk with God, I knew the importance of finding someone that I know when they teach the message, it is not for their personal gains. That the fellowship and the people that I have, the Christian sisters and brothers that is around me, it should reflect what God wants us and how he wants us to show up as. Right? That was important to me. So, of course, again, it was a trial and error thing. It took time where, I would listen to some of the preachers, the big preachers as well, too, on YouTube. And then, again, you started to hear certain things about, again, money and, it was just certain things that I heard, and I just was not, and you just hear it constantly over and every time and over and over and over and over again. And, again, my personal belief, it started to look more like a business than it is of God, and being led by God. So it took me time. And I said that to say, I feel like when you're looking for your church home, first off, it should not stop you from looking for a church home, right? If you lose your job, do you go and try to find the next job, or do you just sit around and you just wait, right, for someone to come to give you something? For the most part, a lot of us, we're going to find another job, right? And if you've been working for a long time too, and you know that you're an asset, and you know that you care about the work that you do, you're going to make sure that the job fits you as well too, right? If you have that leeway and that privilege to do that. I feel like when it comes down to looking for a church home, it's way more important than you looking even for a job, right? Because again, he is the provider of all things. So if you're in some place where, again, you feel like it's important. It's important for you to, when you're looking for a church to vet and to try out different places, right? To check out different churches to see if this fits for you. I think it's imperative. I don't think because, this person, or, your family goes there or whatever. A lot of times too, people feel so drained because they're not getting the message, or they feel like, well, this is somewhere where I don't want to be, because they're just not, that's not the church home for them. So for me, it took me time to actually find, I think I found it honestly pretty quickly, but I feel like it was definitely someplace where I know for a fun fact that I can get the message that, again, the people of the church is, they show up, right? Like children of God. It took time, but it got there. So I said it to say, I don't think because of people church hurt, right? I hear church hurt a lot as well too. But people get church hurt, they're like, yeah, I don't want to do it again. Get back up and get back up on that horse, honey. And God sees a heart that is in position in the right place. He sees a heart that is yearning for him, right? So instead of us, having a down moment or having situations that did not work out, or, whatever the situation may be, and you want to actually be in God's presence, he's going to make sure once you keep trying, and once you don't sit there and say, okay, well, that's why I'm done. It's like what it seems like is you were trying to find a reason to not go to church anyway. Doesn't make sense. You were trying to find reasons to talk yourself out of believing in God, or, having that relationship with him. But when God see a heart that is trying, when God see a heart that is, after his ways, he will definitely make sure that you are in the right place and establishment. Okay. So like I said, I think overall, and the people who are just recently got baptized, people who are thinking about getting baptized, don't let that stop you. Okay, do not let that stop you. Okay, and I also want to say this as well too, because even though, like I said, when you first get baptized, it's a walk, right? It takes time for you to get there. It takes discipline, repetition, consistency, watering the garden, all that stuff. Not because we're not there yet means that we should still be making the same mistakes over and over. Now, let's be honest, okay? You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to, again, that's where consistency and discipline and learning and devotion and all that stuff comes from. Yes, we're going to fall off the horse. Absolutely we are, right? And we may fall a few times, right? But let's be able to be honest, right? Let's be able to be honest with ourselves, right? To be able to ask God for help in those areas, right? And to do it regardless. And I know, like I said, it's just certain things that I know, honey, it's going to take me some time, but I'm not going to stop. And like I said, too, a lot of times, too, what we do is we use God as this thing where it's like, because God, well, God said He's going to forgive us. So let me just, I'm going to say this and I'm going to do this. I'm going to act this way, but He just going to forgive us, right? No. And now. And again, especially if you are trying your best to be in the kingdom of the Lord, we have to be able to be honest with ourselves, right? We have to be able to hold ourselves accountable as well too, because God will hold you accountable. Okay. Yeah, that's honestly and truthfully, that's really everything I have for this topic and conversation. Like I said, for all the people that be out there like, yeah. And I think a lot of times too, what happens is you have people who knew you, right? They knew your past. They knew you before your walk with God. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard, I guess, for people to see you differently, or they just choose not to see you differently. But that does not stop you, and it sure don't stop me, honey, for being who and where I need to be. And that is in the house of the Lord. That is in His presence. That is being intentional with Him. That is, again, learning and having fruit in the garden with Him. That is living my way, again, that is according to what God says. So I don't care how you know me, what you know of me, what I did in the front of you, what I didn't do in the front of you. That was her. She back there. Okay, but this girl right here, you ain't gonna stop me. You're not gonna pull me down. You're not gonna make me feel like. First off, be able to show up for Him intentionally, even in front of people who, again, knew you, right? And then you come and talk to me about it. You let me know how that work out for you, because by the end of the day, one thing about it is two things for sure, it's not easy. Walking with God is not a it's not easy, but it gets easier, right? Again, because you're going from sin, and we're always going to be sinners. That's just, again, what we're made to do. We're made to sin. But we're going from, ways that was, again, of the world. And it was normal and it was easy. And that's what the people like, right? To not being in the world, right? But of the world. So that takes time. That definitely takes time. So again, for everybody that was baptized recently, the people who are baptized, people who are, again, Christians, and, just, again, learning how this walk go, y'all, we gonna keep it up. Ain't nobody gonna stop us, honey. We got the big man above with us. He always with us. So it is what it is. You can do what you want, think what you want to think, act how you want to act, or whatever. But for those people, again, Christians and people who just feel the need to just judge someone because of we're not looking the way your expectation is, don't take it up with God. Because the only person that can judge me, baby, is truly Him. All right. So I hope this conversation, y'all, was intentional. I feel like it was definitely intentional today. It was a good conversation. I wanted to get it out. There was something else I wanted to talk about this week, but we'll talk about it next week. This one was way more important to me because your girl got baptized. Yes, girl. Yes. I love it. I love that for me. I love that for me. Okay. I love you guys so much. Y'all don't forget, honey, to tell a sister, cousin, brother, auntie, uncle, niece, great cousin. Tell that old judgmental Christian of hers, honey, or him. Let him know to come over here and listen. Because why? This is the Think About a Podcast with your girl, Niecy. We out.
Your eyes, I dey see paradise, you are lying. You fit to do me, do juju. I no look anybody, I be mumu. You fit taking me, do anything you choose. Anything if you go blow me kiss.